Welcome to our latest episode. This time I want to discuss employee engagement and the link between employee engagement and your kind of leadership team. There's been lots of research carried out over a number of years around employee engagement, and each of the kind of things that we read all or on the main points to leadership or your kind of management team being the main driver around engagement. One of the things that a lot of companies do will conduct an annual employee survey or hold kind of focus groups and what have you, and sometimes that can be quite effective. Gallup have conducted employee engagement research over a number of years, and their annual employee engagement survey that they've got with 12 key questions. It's kind of seen as a kind of main leader in terms of understanding engagement in your organisation and being a true measure. So one of the things that we've been doing with some of our clients recently is looking at that link between employee engagement and the kind of management team, and it's really putting that on the agenda in your business around, have you got the right managers managing people? Because if you haven't, then you really are missing a trick, because you're not going to get the best out of your staff, and if that link isn't quite right, then the engagement levels are going to be pretty low, which has a huge impact on your business as you perhaps manage change. You might be going through some growth and all the kind of challenges that kind of come with that. So it's really important that you really address the kind of people management side of things in your business. Now, you don't have to go away and spend thousands of pounds on a kind of online employee survey tool. And I've worked with organisations in the past that have carried out annual employee surveys and not done very much with the results, to be honest. They've shared the results afterwards, promised to do certain things, and then very little has happened, and then before you know it, you're kind of back to the next annual survey, and the results are probably worse this time because people in the organisation kind of see through that, and you're just paying lip service to it. So I'm not suggesting that's something that you need to do, and as a kind of small kind of type business or an SME, you've probably not got the kind of resources or the kind of financial backing to go and perhaps do that. But there are certain things that you can certainly do, and what we've been doing with some clients recently is just looking at that overall managing performance. Now, it's great because it's the start of the new year. Lots of the clients we're working with have come back really refreshed, want to hit the ground running. I've got their business plans for the year. We're working with them to develop a kind of HR plan and what that kind of looks like. So one of the things that we've been doing pretty successfully is just looking at the objectives that business wants to achieve, and then really kind of drilling that down in terms of, well, what is it the individuals need to do in the business to really help that organisation hit their goals and objectives. So what we've been doing is looking at a very, very simple performance management tool, which can be done on a face-to-face basis, which is the best way to do it, obviously. But what we're trying to capture in that before the one-to-one takes place is look at employee engagement and actually try and get a measure. So we've actually looked at some of the questions that Gallup ask. And one of the things we're kind of doing as part of the kind of preparation around that one-to-one. So traditionally, you might have a kind of self-assessment as part of your appraisal process, where your individual team member will score themselves and rate themselves. They will then pass that back to the line manager. Line manager will go through the same exercise, and you'll have a conversation to discuss, that kind of scoring. So what we've done is kind of stripped that back and actually not looked at how the individual kind of rates themselves, but looked at a very, very simple preparation form. And in that preparation form, it's asking questions around, do they have the right tools and resources to do their job? What is it they're going to be focusing on the next 90 days? Do they have the kind of support from their line manager to do it? What else can the manager do to support them? So looking at some of the similar type questions that the Q12 survey has, and then actually putting that in a preparation form for the individual to complete. There's then a number of other questions that we've been asking, which is really just around their kind of long-term goals and objectives, and where they see themselves in the organisation, areas that they need to work on, and areas that they're doing very well. So we're not asking them to score themselves, it's really just to give comments on it. And what has been really good about that is that the line manager has then been able to do the one-to-one basis, the one-to-one conversation on the basis of this preparation form. And that forum has allowed the conversation to flow. So the managers haven't got hung up on scoring someone, and I've kind of spoke about this in the past around the kind of traditional appraisal and how challenging that is. And really then what's happened is just a conversation. So a conversation around what was what the individual put on their preparation forum, and then the outcome of that is, rather than setting objectives for the next 12 months, because let's face it, the businesses are moving so quickly, you'll be going through some growth perhaps, there'll be lots of changes in your organisation, so let's not set objectives for the next 12 months, but let's look at something that's really critical to your business. So that might be something over the next 30 days or the next 90 days, depending on your organisation. So what we've been doing is looking at a 90-day goal setting, and that's perhaps just been a couple of objectives. So one might be linked to the business, and one might be a personal objective. What then happens is there'll be regular informal conversations take place over that 90-day period. So that's reinforcing positive behaviours, it's challenging anything that needs to be corrected. So, that might be kind of behaviours, or it might be how someone does their job. And then what will then happen is, at a 90-day period, you'll sit down and review the progress around the objectives that's been set, and reinforcing all the things that you've kind of been saying previously at the kind of first review. So we kind of schedule that in the calendars. So again, with technology, you might be using Outlook, Google Calendar, shared calendars, whatever it might be, but schedule these times in with your teams. But really important to make sure that the informal communication kind of takes place. And if you do that, then what you're then going to be doing is reinforcing the kind of measures that Gallup have suggested around employee engagement, and it's getting your managers on side with that. So if you're a business owner or a director and you're managing a team of people, I would suggest that the measure around their performance is, well, what is it they're doing with their own teams? So look at the quality of the one-to-ones, look at the kind of team meetings that they might be conducting as a regular communication around that, and use that as the measure around how you manage your managers. And if your managers aren't doing that, then I suggest that you do something about it, because if they're not doing these basic things, then the team below them aren't going to be as engaged, and that's going to impact on your profitability, it's going to impact on the service to your customers, it's probably going to impact on your kind of staff retention, and there's lots of challenges at the minute around recruiting and retaining talent, so you need to get the bit right around your kind of people managers, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. This is all kind of fairly basic stuff, so as a people manager, these are the sort of things that you should be doing. So I get you might have been kind of promoting someone because they're good at the task or very good technically, and that's all fine, but you need to make sure that the people aspect is there around how they coach, how they support, how they give feedback, because these are the things that are really important to your kind of team members, and that's what you need to kind of be working on this year. So that's some of the stuff that we've been doing. What I'm going to do is in the blog post, I'm going to kind of attach a link and just let you kind of have a look at a kind of template around the kind of preparation form, which might be really helpful. And then there's a forum as well that you can use just to document the conversations over the next 12 months. So when you're kind of doing the interim reviews and sitting down and reviewing their objectives, there's a kind of framework and a form that you can use, and hopefully that can help you and your business kind of drive performance and engagement forward this year. If you've got any questions on that, or anything that's perhaps a concern, or you think it's a challenge, then obviously you can continue to reach out to me. You can comment on the blog, or you can contact me directly. Contact details are all on the website, or you can contact us through the social media channels that we have, which is LinkedIn and Twitter, etc. So again, these are all on the website, so feel free to kind of reach out. Hopefully that just gives you some hints and tips around some of the things that you could be doing to kind of drive employee engagement and obviously performance in your business in 2018. So thanks, until next time.